Whiskey Acres is one of the few places that you can go and enjoy a distilled spirit made from the grain that was grown right on site.
My family has been working and farming and making whiskey since the late 1800s. We live and breathe growing great grain and making great whiskey. I mean, that's what we do.
Anyway, good evening, everybody. We are at Whiskey Acres in Dekalb, Illinois, and this is the Next Taste on Tour, and this is in support of our Culinary, Beverage, and fabulous small craft tour that we're doing through the Midwest and around the United States. I'm sitting with Jamie Walter of Whiskey Acres. We're really happy to have you, Jamie. It's really good time here at
Thank you.
Friday evening.
Yeah, Friday evening. Just hopped off the combine.
Yeah, did you again?
Yeah.
Did you get it all done?
Well, that field, we're on to another field at this
point. Is that right?
So, yeah. Weeks to go.
How many?
Several weeks to go.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wow. That's amazing as fast as it was coming out. How many acres are you farming?
A little over 2,000.
Wow. How many acres can you do a day then?
Up to about 80.
Is that right? Corn, so it does take a few days to get it out.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
So at this point, you're praying for dry weather.
That's right, for the most part, right. Although a rain now and then, so I can get a little maintenance done, maybe sleep a little, have breakfast with the kids is nice.
You know, I always found it interesting that when farming has been in your family for how many years?
So actually a very long time. This farm here at this location was started by my grandfather in the 1930s, but there were generations that farmed before he did back in Ohio and then back in Europe before that. So
is that right? Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a long time. So are you born with a genetic code of how to fix combines?
No, I'm not much of a mechanic.
Is that right?
With you. Yeah, that's not my strong suit.
So you got to call somebody, or do you have somebody?
Yeah, and just like automobiles anymore, you know, there's so many computers and so much stuff. If you don't have a laptop, you can't fix it.
Yeah. So. Yesterday, Jamie invited me to go and ride in the combine. It was thrilling. You're actually going to see at the end of this, and I'm going to cut in a few of it right now, but we had some great conversations in the combine. And the funny thing, it's not funny, it's actually pretty interesting, is that he said that there's more software and code in that combine than there is in a 747.
A Boeing 747, that's correct, yeah.
God,
it's incredible. Our combine can drive itself to anywhere in the world within 1 inch.
That is just amazing. And you'll see at the feature at the end, which is going to be cool, there's a lot of raw footage we shot yesterday. But how many video screens do you have in that combine?
I believe I have 4 or 5, depending on what I'm doing. But there's at least 4 screens.
Yeah. Wow.
At any one time.
It was really cool. I
jokingly refer to myself not so much as a farmer anymore, but as a systems analyst.
So all that code that goes in when you say it's more than a 747, how much did you have to enter into that?
I didn't enter any of it. I'm a user. I'm not a programmer.
You're an abuser, not a user.
That's right. My job is to call tech support.
Okay, so just for the little geek side of me, so the combine knew where we were yesterday.
Yes.
And it obviously was encoded in there from where you planted or
Correct.
somewhere else.
Correct.
So every year is it planted in the same?
So, it's same field, but obviously different traffic patterns within the field. I can actually program the machine to drive itself down last year's tire track so that we can limit compaction. It really just helps us make a more superior crop. And that superior crop, when we distill it, helps us make a superior whiskey.
Well, let's get right into that because it's all about the corn. and it's all about the terroir. I had a hard time pronouncing that, but terroir is a very, very important word, right?
Yeah, it's a big part of what we do. When we started the distillery, it was one of our kind of driving factors. I have a little background in the wine industry, and I knew that great varietals, a Pinot Noir and a Cabernet Sauvignon, make different flavored red wines, right? Well, I know enough about corn genetics to know that not all corn's equal, and why wouldn't some of the varieties affect the flavor?
Right.
So together we worked with Dave Pickerel, Dave is a former Master Distiller Maker's Mark, and he worked with us to kind of flesh out this variety thing. Our head distiller is Rob Wallace. He's actually receiving his master's in distillation right now at Heriot Watt in Scotland, and he's doing his dissertation on this very subject. So we're one of the first distilleries to really take this on. Whiskey Advocate magazine last year, 2018 I guess, they referred to us as the corn kingpins. We were one of the 6 visionaries in the craft whiskey space with the work that we were doing on flavor and corn varieties and even soil types. I think it all plays into really the microclimate and everything else that makes an impact on the flavor of the whiskey.
Yeah, and the soil top, he was showing me yesterday, and you're going to see in the video at the end of this, is that you look at the soils on your own property, and it's different corn or whatever you're taking out of that for different uses.
It's very high tech. We actually have grid soils sampled all of our property, so we know right to the 2.5 acre square basically what kind of soils it is, what kind of fertility needs there are, and then every year we will write a prescription and actually fertilize and amend the soil to that particular need of that particular variety. And we can do a great deal to impact flavor. And it's really what differentiates us. All the big boys, nothing against them, but they use commodity corn. I liken it again to the wine industry and say it's the difference between red table wine, jug wine, and that's the state of our bourbon industry in the United States today. Is really they're just using bulk commodity corn, just like commodity red grapes.
Right.
Those flavor nuances are lost, and unless you can be an estate grower like we are and flesh out those different varietal impacts and soil and microclimate, that's all missed by the consumer, and it really is an important thing, I think, and what puts us on the map, and it seems to resonate with our customers.
Yeah, without question. When it was, I'm going to tell you, yesterday, thrilling for me to be in the combine with Jamie, because he so naturally explained from the heart the corn that he was harvesting, what went into that corn to select the fields, and then I'll say this as best I can, he keeps the good stuff for him, and he sends the other stuff down the road, so to speak.
That's right. I like to make a little joke about that periodically, but we do. We save the very best for ourselves,
right. And why not?
We get rid of the other stuff, let other people make other things with it.
Yeah, we cut out a little bit of that, just so you'll have to guess. And it's all good. It really is. And corn today is a vital crop around the world, and exporting is one of the bigger crops. I mean, that the United States corn farmers exporting to Asia and
that's a big part of our business. In fact, the majority of the corn that we raise is actually commodity corn that does go to feed livestock or for other human food and fuel and feed uses. Southeast Asia is a big buyer for us, so that's actually one of the things that led us to the distillery, and maybe I mentioned that yesterday, but at one time we were partnered up with Sapporo Beer, and we were their main supplier of corn for some of their beer, and they seemed willing to pay a premium to come halfway around the world because they thought our corn tasted better, and that really got us thinking more and more about what we wanted to do.
Yeah. So let's get to the guts of it. Let's get to the passion and the heart now. So you go out and you go through all this amazing planting the corn, bringing the corn in, drying the corn, taking the best for you, and then it's put into this beautiful product that everybody out here on a Friday night is, during the COVID safe time, behind us we took a little bit of film. As the sun was going down, you could sit and see everybody that was waiting on the tables was wearing the mask. All the tables were extremely COVID safe. It's extremely important today to have a safe and secure environment.
That's right.
So people that are coming
here. We take that very seriously. We're doing our part. In fact, we actually voluntarily closed down early on and made hand sanitizer. That was not unusual for a number of craft distilleries. But we took that responsibility to our community seriously, and we take the safety seriously. We are closed down inside, but we're outside. And just like you and I are here out right now, it enables us to be outside where we've got the breeze blowing through here and be able to enjoy the
beautiful night,
the atmosphere. So it's a nice crowd out here tonight. We're open on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. You can come out. We have a beautiful visitor center that we unfortunately can't use right now, but when this is all behind us, we'll be back inside and enjoying that. So we look forward to welcoming our guests again and then giving tours again. It's another one of the things we do a lot of, and unfortunately we've had to close that down right now too.
The visitor center inside is second to none. It's beautiful. We're going to find some clips we're going to put in this to show you what it's like. And when this whole pandemic thing is behind us, it's going to be a great time.
We're fortunate to have great staff. We have great staff. We have a great facility. We think we have a great product, and we've got great customers.
Let's talk about that product a little bit.
Yeah, let's do that.
So what are the products? What do you have in that hand
Actually,
right now?
what I have in my hand right now, you can't get.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And I don't have one.
But this is just a little pour of our bottled and bond. It was first released about a month ago.
Okay.
It's sold out very quickly. We just made batch number 2. It's sold out in a single order, we've got more coming. So October 16th, we'll have another round of it out for our customers. You can get it in a cocktail here, but it sells really, really fast.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I pulled in early tonight to do, what photographers do. You want to go and get the lay of the land, set up your equipment. I pulled in the drive out here, I couldn't find a spot. I mean, that was at 5:30, something like that. And I was like, God, it's late again. So I set up over here in the grass and over here, but it's quite beautiful. They have a food truck in the back. Everybody's having fun. Saw some old friends from Dekalb. This is our area that we raised our kids in. Of course, it's important to us. Even though the Distillery Channel, who we are, we're stretched from Florida to California right now. We're trying to tell everybody's COVID-safe story. But let's get back to that product. When we were writing yesterday, you're talking about a blue popcorn.
Blue popcorn
coming out.
So as I mentioned before, we do think variety makes a difference. And our mainline bourbon is actually a blend of 2 to 3 commercial hybrids that we've identified that we think have superior flavor. But then we've also found a rich library of genetics in heirloom corn. And so we have a number of heirloom and specialty grains that we also raise here. In the bourbon side for blue popcorn, we raise a green Oaxacan corn originally out of Mexico. We have a Bloody Butcher. Those are all bourbons that we've made. Most of them are all still aging in the barrels in our rick houses. They have yet to be released. We've had a couple of very small kind of past releases where we're testing the market, testing the age, and we're quite confident that when the blue popcorn is released in December, it will be a big hit with our consumers. And then in the years to come, we'll have our Bloody Butcher and our Green Oaxacan out as well under our Artisan Series line. So the Whiskey Acres Artisan Series will be those specialty grains.
Are people going to be able to get it in December?
Yes, you'll be able to. We will have an open curbside pickup here at the distillery, and our distribution team is well aware of it. We have lots of independent liquor stores and grocery and bars and restaurants. Hopefully they'll be open. And of course, chains like the Binny's, the Liquor and Wine, those kinds of Woodman's, Hy-Vee. Those are all locations where people will be able to find our products. We're distributed currently throughout Illinois, Wisconsin, and Nebraska. And if you don't see us, ask for us.
There you go. Yeah. Distribution. Nebraska. How'd you come into Nebraska? How was that?
Well, again, we have a rich affinity to the agricultural community.
Sure.
And the Nebraska market understands corn.
There you go.
And they understand what we're all about. And besides the corn, I should also mention that we raise all of our own wheat, rye, and barley as well.
And that's important because in the guidelines for true bourbon in the United States, first thing you have to have is 51% corn, right?
Correct. And in the case of rye, 51% rye. And I do want to mention that while bourbon is our number one volume product, we have a substantial following for our rye whiskey. We're one of the of only 2 distilleries in the United States that use a certified rye, so it's a pure strain of rye originally out of Canada. It has a wonderful spice, but also a bit of a vanilla note that really makes it unique. It was actually our very first gold medal winner, so we're really excited about a rye as well. And a lot of people, while we're known for our corn and our bourbon, there's a lot of people that follow us for our rye as well.
I wish we could do a taste division. Someday, we're going to have a USB port, put it in this whatever is in that little glass will come out your computer.
I'll give you a little preview too.
Okay.
We do have an American single malt under development here. We're growing all of our own barley. We are malting, and we even have a peat bog on one of our farms.
Here?
Yes, and,
really?
and it is our hope. We haven't done it yet, but it is our hope that we will attempt to smoke some of our own barley.
And tell everybody why you need a peat bog. I mean, where that comes from.
Yeah, that's right. We're all about the peat. Well, it's all about peat for smoking and drying that barley out, and that's what imparts that kind of smoky flavor that some people like, some people don't.
Right.
And we won't smoke all of our barley, but we will do a line that has hopefully a wonderful smokiness from our very own domestic Walter Farm Whiskey Acres peat bog.
So much fun out here. Anyway, we're sitting here on a Friday night. Jamie Walter here, Whiskey Acres here in Dekalb, Illinois. This is so much fun. If you're in the area, come out. It's only about an hour from downtown Chicago. How many more weekends do you think we're going to be able to?
We're going to be open through the month of October for sure. And then we'll probably look at the weather and make a decision. My guess is we'll probably be closing down for the winter, but we will reopen up in the spring. And as soon as the COVID thing's behind us, we're open every weekend, all year long. It's a great place to come. We hope to see you.
Yeah, I'm only 15 minutes away, so boom, chakalaka. I'm going to be here quite a bit. Great staff. People out here are just lovely. People are having a good time in the background. And I'll tell you what, this has been great. You can just see the richness of the history of the family that has owned this farm, the dedication, the sensitivity to the soil, down to the inch. It was a great time. You're going to see this in a minute in the little trailer that we have. But anyway, for the Distillery Channel, thank you much, Jamie. It's been great being with you.
I'm going to leave you with one final word.
I am ready.
Just remember, great whiskey isn't made, it's grown.
There you go. I like that.
Whiskey Acres is one of the few places that you can go and enjoy a distilled spirit made from the grain that was grown right on site.
My family has been working and farming and making whiskey since the late 1800s. We live and breathe growing great grain and making great whiskey. I mean, that's what we do.
There's a sense of satisfaction that comes from knowing that we were involved in the day that seed became a plant and the day that seed became a bottle of whiskey.
Farming is certainly a process, and what we really do is we gather sunshine. It's a very rewarding experience to see things grow. That's why when spring comes and the sun starts rising earlier, I can't sleep anymore. It's time to get up and go plant the fields.
What we do here is real, and we make everything ourselves. We grow all the grain that goes into our product. We can make a tremendous whiskey with our own 2 hands.
We model Whiskey Acres off of a typical estate vineyard, where if you're at a winery, you're walking the grapevines. If you're at Whiskey Acres, you're walking the corn rows, looking at our rye and our wheat blow in the wind.
Dekalb, Illinois really is the Napa Valley of corn. We have the richest, deepest, most fertile soils of almost anywhere in the world. It's the perfect place to grow fantastic, high-quality grain.
When we convert that grain into a fine bourbon, there's a great a sense of accomplishment.
I'm proud. I'm proud to be a farmer. I'm proud to make great whiskey.
There's nothing more empowering than showing our seed to spirit story.
Our family's been here for generations, and I hope someday that my kids will be able to make their livings here with their families. And so protecting the soil, the water, the natural resources, doing things right, that's really, really important to us. You know, a guiding principle around here is that great whiskey isn't made, it's grown. And we truly believe that.
Whiskey Acres is going to continue to wake up every day and grow the best corn to make the best whiskey and become a sustainable, reliable, high-quality supplier to our guests and customers.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm here at Whiskey Acres in Dekalb County, beautiful Dekalb, Illinois, just north here, and I had a great ride with the owner, Jamie, who is absolutely just a wonderful, wonderful human being. The cool part about being here is that I just learned a lot about how computerized these combine equipment that they do today. I mean, it's within an inch, and you're going to find out here in the coming segment I got to ride in the cab. It was a lot of fun. It's very, very satisfying to be there. Jamie has put just hours and hours of his life into this. The other thing is, he told me there's more software parts in what you're going to see in this episode than what goes on in a 747 jet plane, which is amazing. So anyway, stay tuned here just for a second. We're going to go for a ride here on the combine, and Jamie and I are going to be having some fun. I'm going to learn a lot, I'm sure. We'll talk to you soon.
No, go ahead. All these computers here are keeping track of what's happening both on the ground and inside the machine. So there's, interestingly enough, there's more lines of computer code in this combine than a Boeing 747.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not so much a farmer as I am a systems analyst these days. So, but you know, everything from overhead right now, this second, we can look at the satellites that are flying overhead. So I'm tied right now into this constellation of satellites.
Really?
Yep. That is using triangulation to place the combine, and I'll be driving it robotically across the field. It's accurate to within about 1 inch anywhere in the world.
Really?
Yep. Up on these screens over here is maps of our planting. So on the right, this is our soil types over here. So this is primarily an Elburn silt loam. Up here, this is more of a drummer silty clay loam. And then these are our hybrids, so the seed varieties that were planted. And so a couple different varieties here in this field. And one of the very unique things about Whiskey Acres is that we understand that varieties are different, much like wine grapes. They can provide different flavors, and we're really into the concept of terroir. So I can actually select certain hybrids from certain soil types on our land, and we can save those and keep those separate from everything else for making our bourbon. So
do you use all the different acres in our land?
So no, we farm a couple thousand acres, and only about 5 to 10% of it in any given year is actually going through the distillery. So it gives us an opportunity to really save the best of the best. So we're going to come in here, and I'm going to start activating some machinery.
Okay.
Turning on some steering. So if you look behind me, you'll see that's where the corn is going to go, right here behind this window behind your head.
Oh, okay.
And the corn is going to be in there. It takes about 14 seconds from the time that the corn comes into the combine to have it all sheared off the cob and sorted out inside the machine.
Wow.
In fact,
wow, that's amazing. 14 seconds?
Yep, so we'll watch. We'll count together here. So we have a 1, 1,000, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and look behind me. And there it is coming into the machine.
Turn around. Blue popcorn.
Blue popcorn, correct.
So blue popcorn will be a distilled product?
Yep, yes. So in December, right before Christmas, we will be releasing our very first of our newly designed bottle, what we call our Artisan Series, and it will be a bourbon made entirely out of blue popcorn. It has a really interesting flavor profile.
So are you going to remain open then through Christmas, or how does your distillery function?
So under COVID right now, currently our cocktail service is limited to outside. We have a whiskey garden outside that will be open through November 1st, and then our intention is to have some curbside pickup once or twice a month over the winter time, especially during the holidays.
You had mentioned that you're going to do like some fire
pits, yeah.
Have you started that yet?
Yes, we have. We started that, and it's been a big hit so far.
How many people have you had out?
On a nice weekend evening, it's not uncommon for us to have upwards of 100 people outside at our facility. Of course, if it gets rainy and cold and dreary, it's far less. But last Saturday night, it was interesting. We had 4 groups of people sitting outside in the rain by the campfire drinking cocktails. They were having a great time.
It says something about when they got served and how good it is, you know. So it's fun. So are you going to be doing it this Friday, Saturday?
Yeah, we're open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. And then, like I said, under COVID, we're going to close for the winter. But during normal times, we'll be open year-round on weekends. We have a beautiful visitor center that we put in a year and a half ago. And we're sorry we can't really use it right now, but this won't last forever. And when we do, it's a great place to have a drink and do a little shopping with your friends. And take a tour. We give a great tour here. Again, those are
there is no